Okay, here we are adjusting or checking the valve clearance on the scrambler, and we've got the timing mark. See, we have an F and a T lined up perfectly. A T is lined up perfectly with the timing mark, and we have play on the inlet and the exhaust of cylinder number 1. Now, for doing cylinder number 2, we rotate that crank 360 degrees, and then we can adjust the other side. These are supposed to be adjusted to 0.05 millimeters on the intake and on the exhaust, so that's easy enough. See if we can get you looking at this a little bit better. Okay, 0.05 is in there. It's a little loose. See what the exhaust is. Yeah, exhaust is perfect. Yeah, that's a little loose too. I think we should tighten these up a little bit. So let's get our wrenches. Okay, this can be very finicky, so I'm probably not going to be on camera the whole time, but you loosen the nut with an 8mm socket. Ooh. And then I've got this handy dandy valve adjustment tool. We can go down and up, and then actually we will be tightening the bottom with an 8mm open end now, once we feel we've got it in a good spot. So let's go find an 8mm. There we go. There we go. So we've closed that down a bit. Let's leave it there for now. Let's see what we look like. Okay, it's in there now, but now I got a little drag on it. Let's see if we can tighten it down a little bit more. This clutch cable's in my way. Okay, it just went down a little bit. Oops. Let's see if we get a little bit more out of it. Oh, that's beautiful right there. That's just a little bit of drag. A little bit more. Okay. Now, we're going to hold this steady. While we tighten the nut. Okay. And we still have a little bit of drag. That's nice. I'm glad we tightened that down. That was way too loose. And okay. We were going to continue and do the same thing with the exhaust valve and on the other side. So once we're all done with that, we're going to go on to checking timing. Okay, we are getting ready to check the timing now. We've got all the valves adjusted. They were all a little bit loose, about 0.08 millimeters. They're all adjusted back to 0.05. I'm really happy the way that worked out. Now we are going to check timing. Let's do this. Okay, that power should come on when we come around to the F mark. And that's right there. We're not on yet. That's top dead center. We're close, but we're a little bit late. So we have to loosen these two adjusting screws. Actually, let's pull them out and clean them. And then we're going to rotate this disc and get it correct. Okay, enough talk. Okay, let's check this again. I'm going to slowly come around to the F mark, waiting for that light to come on. Right there. Okay. And we are, take you out of my tripod. We are exactly on the F mark. So that's timed perfectly. We'll put this cover back on. We're going to fill it up with oil. And next we're going to put it on the carbs and the exhaust. And tonight hopefully we can fix that plug, finish that up, and we may be able to fire this up tomorrow. Alright. Well, here we are back in Dave's garage. We have the scrambler torn apart again. Wasn't happy with compression. Opened it up, the rings are shot. The valves were really corroded and pitted. I didn't make a video of doing it, but the head's been all cleaned up, valves have been all cleaned up. I relapped the valves so they seat a lot better. That's all been reassembled, waiting on new rings. The cylinder bore is glazed, some scoring, scratching, nothing serious, and no real wear. They're right on spec. I think it was 52 millimeters. So yeah, that's good, but the rings were shot way out of spec. So I'm going to hone the cylinders. I'm going to reuse the pistons. It's going to be about a week before I get new rings for it. So once the rings are in, we can slap it all back together and we'll be right back where we started. It took me about, this looks like a mess, but it took me about 20 minutes to get here. It really comes apart. This is one of the simplest engines I've ever worked on. Valve compressor that I have worked good. I was able to get all that cleaned up. Like I said, valves will seat perfectly now. Should have the spec compression is supposed to be 144, I believe, and we weren't even close to that. So like I said, one step forward, two steps back sometimes, but I think I mentioned in one of the very first videos about this machine that I suspected a top-end rebuild was in my future. I thought maybe I would get better compression after I did the spark plug repair, which came out great, but that had little to do with anything. Like I said, pitted valve seatings, valve seats, and worn rings. So we'll come back when we've got the rings and have everything reassembled. We'll see you next time down in Dave's garage.